Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're talking about criminal justice reform. And I spilled the beans that we're taking the factor on the road this weekend and heading to New York City to be in the mix for the first ever social justice convention being held by the United Justice Coalition, which is a part of Jay-Z's entertainment company, Roc Nation. Here in Texas, the group always fighting the good fight is the Texas Innocence Project. And I spoke with their director, Mike Ware, about why summits like this one happening in New York are so important.
Now, when it comes to the Innocence Project, how important is that program to this country and those who are behind bars?
Well, I think Innocence Project of Texas, and of course the Innocence Projects across this country, are extremely important. And let me say, thank you for having me. We appreciate very much having this opportunity to speak to these issues on your show. But they're extremely important, obviously, to the innocent people who've been wrongfully convicted. And I think in Texas alone, if you run the numbers, there's probably 5,000 completely innocent people sitting in Texas prisons right now that need to be identified and exonerated. Now, you know, the successes that we have had, I think, are also extremely important in that the stories behind them change the narrative to what the criminal justice system really is. I think what most people believe, I think, based on what they see on CSI or Law and Order or read in the daily crime stories in the daily newspapers, is not an accurate depiction of what the criminal justice system is in Texas or in America. And I think the stories we're able to reveal through our innocence work and our exonerations, and once we're able to expose what all went into those wrongful convictions, that to some extent we're able to shine a light on what the true story is about the American criminal justice system.
Now, we're doing this special report because of the Roc Nation Summit. How important are summits like this when it comes to educating the public on the criminal justice reform system that we need, or the criminal justice reform that we need in our system?
Well, I think it's extremely important. I think summits like this are extremely important. I think it's extremely important that people such as are coming together for this summit, people of substance and leaders in their respective community, to shed a light on the criminal justice system. Because, like I said, most people have no idea about what the criminal justice system really is. They get their ideas, as I said earlier, from TV shows like Law and Order, or from reading the daily crime stories in the daily newspaper, which are in no way give an accurate depiction of what the criminal justice system really is. And obviously, one of the first steps in making the criminal justice system better or reforming it is shining a light on it and raising awareness as to what it actually is, and therefore highlighting its shortcomings.
What would be your recommendation that they take a moment and learn about in the criminal justice system to get it right?
Well, first off, the broad picture is just how unfair it is to the people involved, particularly poor people, how unfair it, which makes up most of who are in the criminal justice system, how unfair it is to poor people, how it's set up to be unfair to poor people, and how unfair it is to traditionally marginalized demographics, how unfair it is to the more marginalized communities that we have. People of color are way overrepresented in the criminal justice system, for example. To understand that the criminal justice system is used by politicians and law enforcement for all kinds of self-serving reasons that have nothing to do with truth or justice.
Give us an example of that, Mike.
Well, take, for example, the scare and the war on crime that was that's perpetually generated by politicians, but sort of began back in, say, the 60s, about how we have a war going on, and we need to militarize our police. You know, as a politician, you need to elect me because I'm tough on crime. You need to be scared of these people I'm telling you to be scared of, and I will protect you from these people by these draconian policies that I, as a politician, will enact. And that works. Scaring people works. And the politicians were able to misrepresent the reality and the facts, you know, for their own political use. We at the Innocence Project of Texas are concerned about mass incarceration, and it is a problem in and of itself, but it's also a symptom of probably bigger problems in the criminal justice system, like systemic racism. But, you know, mass incarceration is a huge problem. And of course, we address it, as I kind of like to say, we address mass incarceration one innocent person at a time. And that's where we start. And we like to think that by correcting these individual injustices, we can shed a light on what is wrong with the larger system, because we've got a system that is so intent on convicting as many people as we can that we convict innocent people, and we convict a lot of innocent people.
Now, it's estimated between 2 and 6% of those incarcerated right now across this country are actually innocent, which is more than 60,000 inmates. We'll speak to one of those people after the break. Stay with us.